Hey everyone, it's Jack Hilton, aka Unsung Empath, and I wanted to do a video on why I went into social work. Why did I become a psychotherapist? Well, it started in 2016 where I did TV news in the Bangor, Maine area. That time I had hair, I was young, no wrinkles, no children. I was married, so I was kind of on the path of adulting, but I became a TV news reporter and I liked it the first year. And then the second year was a little rough, um, but it provided me with opportunities to grow in the interviewing skill department of things. You know, putting people at ease was something that came naturally for me. And I just kind of fell out of love with it when I realized, wow, one, you have to be kind of hopeful that other people have a pretty rough day to have a better work day. Otherwise, you were, reporting on yet another story on Old Man Jenkins with his tractor trailer down the road, or a new sign in a local town that they just developed. And when I mean sign, I mean a little dinky sign saying, hey, welcome to XYZ city or town, because in Maine, we don't really have a lot of cities. We have a lot of towns and townships and, let's just say, communities. So, of course, when I graduated with a bachelor's in journalism and marketing as well, I was very excited to get a lovely TV reporting position, especially interning at the station. I ended up getting a job at the same station, thinking, yeah, $23,000 a year is a lot of money. Then you realize, oh, my Atlanta, I cannot afford bills. I can't afford to go out. I am living paycheck to paycheck. And you know what? You don't get paid overtime, at least not when I worked. So I know it's kind of tacky to talk about salary, but I think that it's important to just kind of revisit that. I think that it's easy to fall into the trap of accepting any position open to you because it's the entry thing to do. You have to earn your keep, right? I personally felt, and looking back, I could see where I've been exploited as a young professional looking to break into the industry. I would work like 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. with no overtime. I once did a story on the election night from 2 p.m. to 5 a.m. and it came back at 9 a.m. Not even a Tim Hortons gift card. So know your worth, especially entering social work. You're going to fall into probably similar patterns. You're going to find that a lot of the jobs aren't the highest paying starting out. So again, I'm going to refer you to Mind Your Society as well as the Rich Social Worker. I think they have awesome tips and strategies to make larger incomes as well as finding your niche in social work. That way you don't have to just accept any like straight edge, like this is the posting type of position. You can find a way to use your skills to adapt a position or create a position with a master's in social work, which is so versatile anyway. So I'm going to refer you to those channels because I think they cover an amazing topics of things that I probably wouldn't be able to even know how to touch upon. So back to why I became a psychotherapist and a social worker. I would cover a lot of stories featuring people and people overcoming a lot of obstacles in their lives. One story stands out to me of a girl that had a pulmonary heart disease, which was essentially she was on borrowed time, and to now kind of look back where she's a little bit older now, and it's great to see how modern medicine is keeping her healthy and her family support and the neighboring communities all helping her. I would touch a lot of topics such as domestic violence, intimate partner violent relationships, and resources to help them, as well as, oh my word, a lot of things, coping with grief and loss, you name it. I remember leaving so many nonprofit organization like stories, wanting to be a part of that. I wanted to be the person making the difference. I didn't want to just report about all the great things people were doing to make a difference. I wanted to be part of it. And I'm not saying that reporters don't make a difference. We do. And I say we do because I'll always be a journalist. I'll always have the critical thinking as well as the heart to be, or the nosiness, I guess, and the heart to want to know more. And I think that ties really well into social work as well. I think that for me, I didn't want to just be a bystander reporting on what people are doing. I really wanted to be a part of that. And a lot of, I would say, my skills in the journalism department that really flowed well into being a psychotherapist is putting people at ease, where people would tell me, wow, I really didn't know that I was being interviewed. You really made it so calming. You were very human about interviewing me. And I just realized, wow, I really need to be doing something more. So I looked into how to be a social worker. I was really scared that it was going to have me get a whole new undergrad degree. I was married, already broke. The last thing I wanted to do was repeat my 4 years of school. I found out that you can get a master's in social work by having already an existing undergrad degree. I went to Florida Atlantic University my first year, which is an excellent clinical program, as I mentioned before, I believe in my earlier videos. Might have been one of my edits and my bloopers. And UMaine, which is a great school too. I really enjoyed Florida Atlantic University's clinical style, as it's something that is really geared towards what I enjoy doing, which is the psychotherapy type of social work. But nonetheless, it was a blessing that I didn't have to go through my undergrad program again, because I probably wouldn't have. Just looking where I was at the point where I was looking at even any dinky marketing positions I could find, but was able to finally, my wife, who's awesome, was just like, nope, you want to get your degree? Let's make it happen. Let's find out what we need to do to make it happen. And we did. And here I am, several years later, and I love it. It literally is my calling. I touched upon, some cool stuff as a reporter. I was able to interview Bernie Sanders one-on-one, Ryan Zinke. I joined his tour of national monuments and other cool stuff. Honestly, the ones that really stand out to me are the ones I came up with, really honing in on mental health, as well as people overcoming traumatic events in their lives. And even seeing how communities rally together to help individuals overcome those. It's that person and environment, right? Having a positive, supportive environment is everything. And so being able to report on that is amazing, and what led me kind of starting this direction. I also met an amazing social worker, Janice Ronco. So if you're watching, hey, I sat in her office one day. She's a hospice social worker, amazing at what she does. And we were just talking a little bit about where I was at, and she thought for a minute, stared at me, was like, why aren't you in ministry, and why aren't you a therapist? I'm like, I don't know, because I wanted to be a reporter originally. She's like, no, you really have a heart for ministry, a heart for helping people, a heart for therapy. And my pastor reiterated the same thing. He's like, you have a pastor's heart. My birds will be screaming a little bit. They're a little jealous I'm talking to you and not them. So disregard them. But my pastor was like, yeah, you really have a pastor's heart. And I don't see myself at a podium. He's like, you really don't have to. A pastor could be anything. There's different branches you can go. So I really had a more honed in approach. I wanted to do pastoral counseling, which is still something near and dear to what I want to do down the road. If I run my own practice one day, who knows? I definitely just have a heart for people at the end of the day. I love helping people find solutions and answers to overcoming obstacles in their lives. I found that was the case with my friendships. I am seeing it now still today. And it feels so good to be in a place where I just feel like I belong. I was always that puzzle piece trying to plug it into different places and it wouldn't fit. Now I feel like I fit, especially now that I'm down a very specific niche. And I mentioned that in my last video, I specialize more in trauma treatment, and it opened my world of what I do and what I can do, and really how much I could truly make an impact to someone's life and helping them, overcome some of these symptoms that they're dealing with. But I'll have more conversations about trauma treatment and what I've been researching, studying, book reading. I literally have a video on TikTok and on my new YouTube channel about how I keep ordering books. I'm literally in trouble all the time because a new book comes to my house. But I really feel like I belong in social work as well as psychotherapy, especially as a psychotherapist, because that's kind of what I wanted to do in the first place. But that's kind of my journey. I was a TV news reporter. I mentored kids in foster care while I was in grad school, as well as working as a psychiatric technician at an acute psychiatric hospital, the same one that I still work at. Now I'm a therapist there, and I'm loving every moment of it. And I feel like I'm making a difference, and I'm part of an amazing team. If you have any questions about what it's like to, one, leave a career that you've invested so much money into in the first place, to transition to like another one like I did, go ahead and put it in the comment section. If you have any thoughts or questions about what it's like to be a reporter, I'll tell you that too. But if you have any questions about entering into social work, what was that like? What was schooling like? Maybe I'll talk a little bit about schooling, what that was like in another video. My ultimate goal is to have other mental health professionals joining me. We'll see, kind of mixing my journalism experience as well as my social work experience and tying that together, and just kind of seeing what other mental health providers are doing in the area. That's kind of my goal. We'll see where I get, how far I get with that. But yeah, thank you for listening to me talk for 11, almost 12 minutes. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a great one.